Okay, what I have this time is a Model Power Shark Nose RF16. Gonna DCC it, and I don't think this one's gonna be too bad. The other ones that I have done are a little different than this one, but I think this one may be as simple, if not more so. Anyway, we're going to get things apart here. This little plastic outfit right here, it pops off. The framers, 2 clips here and 2 clips down here. Some clips right there. And that'll take this piece off. These have a thing on the motor, or that contacts motor, which is right there in that little dark hole there, one on each side. The motor contacts stick straight out this way, and those press up against it, and everything's wired to that. So we'll see how that's going to work out. Not sure about the decoder, but I was thinking earlier that it might wind up underneath, but we will see how that works out. I have a decoder wire harness that I was going to use on another engine, but I cut the wires too short and I didn't want to splice them back, so that's what I'm going to try and use here. If it don't work, I'll go with a different one. But anyway, I need to see. So let me get things tore apart here. I'm going to unsolder these wires, and I'll get this thing out of the way so I can see what's going on. Okay, I've got the wires inside, and I shall return. This one here goes to the headlight bulb, and they have a black on each side up here and a red on each side here. So I've got to decide if I want to take one side of the red off and one side of the black off, and use the decoder wires along with them some way or another. Ain't give it much thought yet, but I'll do something right, I hope. And to get the motor out, there's 2 screws here. Unlike the older ones, they had a strap that held the motor in. These screws right here are what one turns the motor loose, I believe. It's been a while. And the other one holds the tank in place. So I think I need a bigger screwdriver. So I'll be right back. Okay, well, the one holding the tank on was not correct. These 2 screws right here actually hold the motor on, and surprisingly, the motor is pretty well insulated in there, so I may not even have to bother with that from the looks of it. That is a plastic, so I'm good to go for isolating the motor, I believe. I will have to check it to make sure, but I think that's pretty good the way it is right there. So kind of a I forgot type of thing. It's been a while since I've been in this one, but looks like it might work, and I don't know. I've got them screws that go through there. I think they'll be alright. It looks like the heads are smaller than that black thing going through there. Can't think of it. Anyway, I'll do some checking here and see how that works out to be isolated totally or partially. We'll see. Okay, well, it is pretty well isolated. I did find out just setting it down in there, it read that it was not, but after I got it screwed down, it is pretty well isolated. But I decided instead of taking chances on it, I'd go ahead and put some tape around the motor, so if it does happen to touch the sides, which I doubt that it will once it gets screwed down in there, it won't short out. So that's kind of the way I'm going with that. Just kind of a precautionary measure. And screw holes are fun to find, but I'll manage. So I'll get this motor set back in it and get back to working on the wiring. Well, I thought maybe I better get you in on this part. I decided to go after the trucks before I go putting the motor back in it. It probably a little more convenient that way. These wires, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap the reds over, swap the blacks over, and I'll tie into them with my decoder. These trucks, they come off fairly easy. I've been able to get them off from both ends. This end, you have to push a tab in toward the truck. This end here is up in there. This end right here, you pull that out a little bit and it'll come loose. So either way, you got to be careful with these trucks. I've had them break on me before. But right now, that's what I'm fixing to do, is switch my wires around. So I'll get that done and get them soldered up. Get my wheels back in. You got to watch these little arms right here, make sure they're behind the wheels to give you your contact. So be careful with those, and I shall return. Okay, the wires have been moved around, and got the reds on one side, the blacks on another. This black and this red were for the headlight. This is a ground. This goes right to the headlight. So I'm thinking that my white wire will go here and my blue one here, but I'm not sure I'm going to use that. I'm not sure what I'm doing there. I have a LED and a couple other of my sharks, so I may do that as well. Did want you to take a look here. This is that piece I was telling you about that touches inside. They got to go inside the arms, down inside, otherwise they'll short out. So I'm going to get that on there and investigate this thing and see if I want to put my decoder underneath or if it's going to lay up on top. We shall see. Not sure yet. Okay, I got my decoder mounted on the back side of the plastic thing, whatever that is, and got my wires tinned. Got these red wires all hooked together, and got my black wires all hooked together and soldered, and with my heat shrink. Now it's time to give it a little test on the track. I don't have my headlight hooked up yet, but I'll be able to see how it's going to run. I don't know if this wire here will go back in this little slot, but it might. Yep, there it went. So anyway, let's see what goes on with that. Oh, and thank you, Helping Hands, when soldering the wire. They come in pretty handy some days, especially when you get big paws like mine. At least that's what I'm told by the kids. So we'll set this on the track and give her a shot and see how it's going to go. Can't tell if we got it all on the track or not. Well, anyway, let's see what happens. There she goes. Sounds like I got a little crooked drive shaft or something there. I'll check that out. But it's functional. I just got to get something done with the headlight next. I'll be back. Well, we got that wired. So let's see here. Let there be light. We got a headlight. Forward. Backward. Since how this is kind of a covered wagon type locomotive, they won't have one. So there we go. All I gotta do is finish up my wiring and I'll be done with it. So hang in there.